Greetings and welcome to another Tomorrow's World webcast. My name is Wallace Smith and it's wonderful to have you here. I can't believe I missed this news item when it happened. It actually happened back in May, but it still is a hot button issue. In particular, something very special about our society is illustrated in this exchange. I've got to talk about it. It was all over the news, apparently. I really don't know how I missed it. I've checked more liberal-leaning sources. I've checked more conservative-leaning sources, and they all gave essentially the same report, though not all of them included all the details. For instance, here's the headline from Huffington Post from May 26, 2016. Congresswoman shuts down transphobic woman. You're a bigot, lady. That's the title. And then Breitbart, on the other side of the political spectrum, offered this headline the next day, May 27, 2016. Democratic representative calls law professor ignorant bigot over transgender views. Now, there's a lot I could say about language. I'll try to squeeze that in here at the end, but what you really need is the guts of the exchange. What you have was a law professor from the University of San Diego School of Law, a woman, what was her name? Gail Harriet, was sitting and giving testimony. She provided written testimony about their concerns about Title IX, this legislation, this old legislation that the current American administration is trying to use to also help the country, quote unquote, to embrace transgender concepts and values and people going to whatever bathroom they want, playing whatever gender sports team they want, and all the rest. And so she was giving testimony about their concerns and had submitted written testimony. And Representative Zoe Lofgren of California found the written testimony very offensive. Apparently, this is according to the Breitbart report, but really I've seen this on all of them. This was one of the primary offensive sections of the written report because Ms. Lofgren actually read it there in session. It said, this is from the law professor, "We are teaching young people a terrible lesson. If I believe that I am a Russian princess, that doesn't make me a Russian princess, even if my friends and acquaintances are willing to indulge in my fantasy. Nor am I a great horned owl just because, as I have been told, I happen to share some personality traits with those feathered creatures." So she's trying to make a case. Just because I believe I am something doesn't mean I am that thing. Well, you ought to read the details. Really, the entire exchange in the video is actually available because it was government video, and it's just really, I found it very easily. But Ms. Lofgren took offense at that and said she took offense and states that. She says, I think it's very regrettable that the comment was put into the record, and I think it's highly offensive. And so she goes on to want to engage with the witness, who then asks if she can respond. Ms. Harriet, the professor, says, "Well, could I comment on that, please?" These are from the transcript. And Ms. Lofgren says, "Well, no, that's just my opinion. You gave your opinion." And then there's an exchange. Ms. Harriet says, "Well, I think you'll find it that many people find it very impressive the Department of Education thinks that they can tell schools all across the country what they should do." And then the tenor really changes, and Representative Lofgren says, "I think you're a bigot, lady. I think you're an ignorant bigot. I think you're an ignorant bigot and anti-gay." And then the chair of the committee jumps in and tries to calm things down. And they have this little exchange in the end that just captured my attention and really brings me to this webcast today, where Ms. Harriet, the law professor, says, "Well, does that mean you think I am a Russian princess?" And Representative Lofgren says, "I have no idea. You know, I'm not gonna commit. You know, maybe you are a Russian princess." There's so much that could be said. One, just take a look at the use of the language in this, and even the title that, for instance, Huffington Post used, transphobic woman. Where's the evidence that this woman is somehow afraid of people that are confused about their sex or gender? There's no evidence of that. What makes them supposedly transphobic? If anything, are they logic-phobic, these people? Because when you really look at it, I'm not even saying I agree with this law professor. I read some of the things she said, and I didn't agree with all those things. But at least she was trying to present a case. She's trying to say, no, it doesn't make sense that someone can think they're one thing and somehow that's what they are. So here's someone trying to make a case. And what is the response? You're a bigot. You're an ignorant bigot. You're hateful. You're anti-this, anti-that. We're not just moving into a more immoral society. We are moving into an irrational society, where there is no room for logic or reason unless it's already predetermined you're going to go the direction that certain people want you to go. It's the opposite of what God invites in the Bible. People want to say God's just dictating a bunch of terms, and definitely He's God. He has the right to do so. But the way of life He offers is rational. He even says in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 18, "Come now and let us reason together." He is a rational God. The positions that we teach on this webcast and in tomorrow's world, they're rational positions. But the world is going in the opposite direction of sense and reason. And this exchange was just one example. Thank you for watching. Please take a look at all we have to offer at tomorrowsworld.org.